It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
That's...
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro, in your wildest imagination, you could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So she was, everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide. But
that hot mess that they air in the mornings called The View had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, new rule. Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
They had a discussion on The View about world superpowers, from the sound of it. That's how they got into it. And Sunny Hostin made some comments about patriotism and America and Black America. It's all in there, Jason. I mean, it's all in there. I'm going to tee it up. It starts with Alyssa Farah, who's supposed to be the Republican commentator, and then you'll hear Sunny jump in. Listen.
If America is not the #1 global power, it's not going to be Denmark. It's going to be communist China, a country that right now the government is imprisoning Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. It is a deeply racist government. It's a human rights violating government. It is a government that if they are the leader of the free world, we are not a free world the way that we are right now.
The notion of patriotism and the notion of America and the American flag has been co-opted by the right as if they are true patriots. But when I listen to Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed. If you ask them, as we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust and slavery.
I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sunny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else. Just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas, here they are talking about the word woke.
I just, the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and so
migrate.
why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate.
Whoopi Goldberg was angry when Alyssa pointed out that Trump went to the funeral of Officer Diller.
Yes.
On Long Island, and Joe Biden went to a podcast. Look at Whoopi Goldberg's reaction.
Choose what you like there, but for Republicans, it was good imagery.
Really?
One day later, yes.
And I'm asking that because I was so offended because you know who showed up.
Yeah.
And he was, whether he was asked or not. This
So he
is a
was
man
invited.
who didn't care what happened to the officers on January 6th.
She promotes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J 6th. How does that explain their behavior on a daily basis?
Last week you called white Republican women cockroaches.
Actually, I didn't. And
You said they're acting like cockroaches.
I used in a similar
rhetoric.
Let me answer that.
Okay.
I used a metaphor. Here's what I'm going to ask you all to do. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you to tone it down a bit because I can't hear anything. No one can hear what's being said.
She just said I called
You
white women
understand why
roaches.
people
All right, we're
because
going to
I
go to
did.
break. We're going to break. Can't take it.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree?
Guys, if you missed this one, buckle up, because Sunny Hostin just walked straight into a firestorm and walked out burnt to a crisp. It all went down on The View, where Sunny usually dominates like it's her personal courtroom. She's got the law degree, the attitude, and that signature I know better tone locked and loaded. But this time, she ran into two people who weren't playing nice. Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly. And let's just say, it was not a good day to be Sunny Hostin. One moment she's throwing around her usual hot takes like confetti, and the next, she's getting verbally body slammed by Maher. While Kelly sat there co-signing with that, did she really just say that face? Bill came in like a chill professor who's heard all the excuses before and wasn't buying any of Sunny's talking points. Every time she tried to go into her usual moral high ground routine, he calmly hit back with facts, receipts, and that deadly smirk. It was giving. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And the wildest part, Sunny was not ready. You could almost see the panic in real time. Her points started tripping over each other, her comebacks were flopping harder than a box office bomb, and Twitter went full meltdown mode. Maher even threw shade at The View's track record, saying they've had to issue 4 legal corrections over stuff they got wrong. 4. Not a good look for a show that acts like it's always on the right side of history, but the real killer line? When Maher basically called out Sunny's whole strategy: accuse, moralize, dominate the convo, but only when no one's pushing back. And when someone finally does, well, this happens. Let's be honest, she's great when she's preaching to the choir. But when someone walks in with actual ammo, it's game over. People online are calling it one of the most satisfying takedowns they've seen on daytime TV in years. And Megyn Kelly didn't even have to do much. She just sat back, watched the implosion, and chimed in like, "Welp, there it is." So is this the beginning of Sunny's fall from talk show royalty, or just a rough day at the office? Either way, that replay button's getting worn out. At this point, even the audience could feel it. Sunny Hostin's brain was doing cartwheels trying to keep up. Every time Bill Maher dropped a stat or a receipt, you could literally see her short circuit on live TV. And here's the thing about Sunny, she could turn anything into a TED Talk on injustice. Puppies, TikTok dances, the weather. Somehow it all ends up in a dramatic monologue about oppression. It's like watching a human version of Twitter. Loud, reactive, and always ready to miss the point on purpose. Enter Megyn Kelly. Cool, sharp, absolutely surgical. While Sunny was spiraling, Megyn stepped in and just disassembled her. No yelling, no theatrics, just clean, clinical takedowns. It was like watching a chef fillet a fish. Brutal, but somehow elegant. And let's be real, Sunny can barely hear Megyn Kelly's name without hitting a vocal high note. It's like a dog whistle for TV pundits. Kelly shows up with coherent facts, and suddenly Sunny's clutching pearls like she's in a Jane Austen novel. But Megyn, she just calmly pointed it all out. Watch their tone, she said. Watch Sunny's face. And she was right. That panel looked like someone farted in church the moment someone dropped a statistic. It's not just that Kelly uses facts, it's that she uses them without shrieking, and apparently that kind of composure is terrifying over at The View. Then came the moment that made everyone go, wait, did she just say that? While ranting about January 6th, Sunny compared it, dead seriously, to World War II, the Holocaust, and child slavery. Yeah, that happened, and even her fans were like, girl, no. Honestly, Maher and Kelly didn't even need to clap back. The comment was so far off the rails, it crashed into a history textbook and burst into flames. It was next level hyperbole, like watching someone throw a tantrum in a museum. This wasn't just a bad take, it was a full-on ideological nosedive. No parachute. Just Sunny and her hot takes, crashing headfirst into the cringe abyss. Oh, and let's not forget Sunny's ongoing war against comedy. Apparently, sarcasm is hate speech now, and making jokes is emotional terrorism. You'd think someone with a law degree would get that comedians roast everyone. That's literally the job. Expecting Bill Maher not to joke about public figures is like walking into a Starbucks and being mad they serve coffee, but every time Maher so much as breathes, Sunny acts like he slapped a puppy. Intro 3 at this point, Sunny was reacting like someone just stood on a table and read her middle school diary out loud. Doodles, justice poems, and all. You could practically hear the inner monologue. How dare he say that? She gasped, clutched her pearls, threw in that classic personal offense equals a valid argument move, but Maher? He wasn't having it. He even said, and brace yourself, I don't want to defend Trump, but I'm also not gonna slap a swastika on every MAGA hat. And that hit Sunny like a glitch in the Matrix. You could see her worldview do a full-blown Windows crash. She started reaching for history like a toddler hurling spaghetti at the wall. Chaotic, messy, hoping something sticks. It was less debate, more Wikipedia speedrun. If this were a courtroom, the stenographer would have rage quit mid-sentence and joined a union out of protest. Meanwhile, Maher just sat there, chill, smug, completely unbothered. Dude's been through more political debates than Sunny's been through talking points. His vibe was basically, aw, sweetie, you thought this would work? And then Megyn Kelly came in with the receipts. Again, she called out the fact that The View has had to issue 4 legal corrections recently, plus that infamous debate debacle where their fact checks needed their own fact checks. At this point, calling The View a serious political show is like calling microwave popcorn fine dining. And yeah, the internet went off. Clips racked up millions of views. Comment sections turned into war zones. Half of America was like, finally, someone called her out. The other half, weirdly quiet. But here's what really hit. This wasn't just about politics. People from both sides started asking, why do we let daytime talk shows set the tone for serious issues when this is the level of discourse? If your argument falls apart the second someone brings a stat to the table, maybe it wasn't a strong argument in the first place? The truth is, it's not just that people disagree with Sunny, it's that they're tired. Tired of being lectured. Tired of the laughter is violence energy. Tired of the same outraged monologue pretending to be a conversation. And when reality finally walked into the room, wearing a Bill Maher smirk and a Megyn Kelly stare, Sunny's carefully curated outrage bubble popped, loudly. No law degree, no finger wagging, no dramatic how dare you could stop the fact that she walked straight into an intellectual ambush and left in ashes. Sunny Hostin didn't just lose an argument, she exposed the fragility of an entire media ecosystem, built on unchallenged takes and moral superiority. And the internet, they're calling it the most satisfying reality check of 2025.